All right, we're live here on Facebook. We'll be going on YouTube here shortly. Keeping it casual for 2021 as we're still sort of in a lockdown situation here in San Diego. But some interesting information has been released by the Union Tribune via CoreLogic. I want to go over that. I want to talk to you about my prediction for the San Diego real estate market in 2021 and also talk about the phenomenon that's causing it. So I think it's important whenever we look at some of these movements in markets to not just look at the movement, to not just look at the past data, to not just project out based on current data what we think the future data will be, but to also look at the causes. The causes will tell us a bigger story. And so the causes of what's taking place are important to understand because if we want to know whether something's sustainable, we want to know whether something is long-term move or short-term move, this is where we'll be able to find that in the causes, in the root of the movement. And I think there's a very big movement that's going on as I'm going to share this on my personal feed as well here. There's a very big movement that's going on that is not something that hasn't been seen before, but it hasn't been seen in a very long time, and it is unique to the San Diego market, I think, especially considering that we are a pretty big city, and there's been a suburban sprawl that's taken place since the 1950s, but we haven't seen the desire for distance like we have since then until 2020. So what we'll do real quick is I'm going to show you the data, and then I'm going to do my opinion. So let's look at the facts. Let's see here. Let's look at the facts. Let's see, is the sound effects working? All right. Okay, let's do a quick screen share here. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to look at, this is the article from the UT, and the forecast is coming from CoreLogic. Now it says that San Diego home prices to rise 8.3% in 2021, most in the nation. Most in the nation is a very, very important piece here. And this is one of the things that I've been telling you for years. Even in 2014, or some of those years where I was bearish on real estate, I was telling you that San Diego is a unique place. And it's just getting figured out internationally. It doesn't have the international branding that San Francisco or Vancouver or New York or Los Angeles has, but it's getting it. And you can see it. It starts with that luxury price point in the luxury markets. You talk to some of those big luxury agents about the movement of big money. It's a macro move. Now, the thing about San Diego that's great is that you have the coastal lifestyle opportunity with sun, beach, snow, and all that, but you don't have a lot of the issues that you have with the other areas of California, Los Angeles, like the congestion, the traffic, and so forth. The smog, etc. You have a little bit of everything in San Diego, and of course, we believe that the local government here has done a great job for the most part as far as business is concerned. There's also things that we have advantages of that make San Diego strong, like the military, defense contractors, biomedical. There's so many things. And what I've been saying since then is that you're going to see San Diego will become a premier destination for real estate, and this is taking place. Now you're seeing, this is a forecast by CoreLogic where they're saying that San Diego home prices are going to rise the most in the nation this year. So that's one thing we want to take note of. Now, let's look at what they said. Okay, why? Let's look at the why. Remember, the cause is important here. The cause is important if we want to really understand whether a movement is sustainable, whether it will be sustained, or whether it's something that's short term. Okay, so CoreLogic said that the lack of homes for sale will continue to push up prices. So they're looking just strictly at inventory. And if you go and you look at inventory right now, if you're looking to buy a home, you'll see there isn't any. If you're looking to rent a home, you'll see there isn't any. I've checked all this stuff for months and months and months, and I just checked it again this morning, and there just isn't that much, which means that there's a lot of multiple bids. Multiple bids create higher prices. They're saying that this is going to be more than anywhere in the nation. Now, keep in mind, too, that, let's see, what are the numbers? Okay, so in 2020, was 9.5%. So they're saying it isn't out of the ordinary for San Diego homes to increase a lot in a year. In fact, single-family homes were up 9.5% last year. However, the forecast is noteworthy because CoreLogic predicts most markets will see price appreciation slow. Okay? So CoreLogic is predicting that San Diego home prices will go up 8.3%. And they're also saying that we're going to see appreciation slow in most markets, and that in the majority of markets, including San Diego, right? Because they're saying we went up 9.5% last year, and we're going to go up 8.3% this year. Okay, so that's the prediction. So they're saying that things are going to simmer down a little bit, but rising to the top of the simmer will be San Diego. Now, how could this be happening? What is going on with this? We can look at a few fundamental things, but there's a movement that's taking place. The fundamental things are what they've mentioned here. They haven't talked about the movement. They haven't talked about the groundswell or the ground game or the people who are at the ground level, what they're seeing and what we have seen. And if you're in the business, by the way, Derrick Evans, NMLS 155010. I don't think I put any of my information up. I will before the video is done. So what they're saying here is lack of homes. They're saying inventory is the issue. There's no real mention here of interest rates. Interest rates definitely play a part. Okay, interest rates will be low through this year. Will they go up and down? Of course they will. But they're going to maintain a pretty low standard. So, let's see if I can. I'm still working with this new system here. How do I get back to that? I think I am back to it now. So, how do we essentially figure out if we know rates are going to stay low? How do we figure out if the movement is sustained? Well, we have a lack of inventory because there isn't a lot of building going on, plain and simple, right? There is not a lot of new construction here. There's a lot of flipping going on. There's a lot of gentrification going on, which that always creates higher prices. Building also does, but that is something that has a little bit more tamed. What tends to be happening with building is it sort of reminds me of, when you go buy a box of cereal these days. Box of cereal is so much smaller. It's the same price as it was. That's kind of what they do with new home builds, right? They give you a smaller lot and a more vertical home, and they do all these different things, but really they're giving you a smaller package for the same amount of money. Whereas when we look at these rehabs that are taking place and all the homes that are being flipped and the gentrification that's going on, a lot of times those homes are being expanded, in fact, being made bigger, and therefore you're seeing higher prices on those. But what everyone fails to see here is ultimately the movement, the macro movement of people wanting to sprawl out. There has been different times in our history where people have condensed into the cities, and then there have been times where they've gone out. It's almost like the ocean. It's almost like taking a breath, in and out, in and out. Right now, we're at the beginning of one of those movements, and it's very crucial because of the time frame that it's happening in, because the millennials, who we talked about forever, for the past 10 years, we've been talking about the millennials. When are the millennials going to buy? Are the millennials going to buy homes, or are they just going to rent? Are the millennials going to just live with their parents? Are they all going to want to live in downtown walkable locations? What's going to go on with the millennials? And what we saw initially was just that. Millennials wanted walkability. They were fine with renting. They were cool with living at home if they needed to. They were cool with living with roommates. They were cool with doing a lot of different things. As they've gotten older now, and as the millennials are the ones who are having families, getting married and having kids, and they're professionals now, we're seeing that they are now also wanting to take a step out and get a little bit further away from metropolitan areas. You're starting to see essentially a resurgence, not to the suburbs even, but to the country, to away from the city centers and to their own little neighborhoods. And you're seeing a very strong demand for that across the board. You're also seeing a lot of people, because we're now over 10 years of the market, real estate market in San Diego being up. You basically shook out everyone. Anyone who was a naysayer, anyone who was negative on real estate, there's nothing you can say anymore. You can't deny it. For 10 years, you've been wrong. And several of those years in there, I was wrong. So we have sustained growth. We have the greatest weather, climate, living circumstances in the world, in my opinion. I've been everywhere, pretty much. And we have a market that is still priced well below some of these other big markets like Los Angeles, like San Francisco, like San Jose. And so we're the cheapest of the California big markets. We have the best weather. We have a good economy. We have tons of opportunity here. And we have this macro movement of the millennials getting older, having families, having kids, and wanting to sprawl out finally and purchase. And a lot of those people were renters for years. So that is the movement that's taking place. You're seeing people realize that renting's not going to work long term and that they want to own their own home, but also add into this mix the effect of coronavirus and work from home. Work from home is going to be a movement that doesn't go away. This is good for everyone. Employees like this, employers like this. In fact, California was talking about taxing people who work from home. Of course they were. Anyone wants to do anything, California is going to tax you for it. But when it comes to, the sustainability of that movement, it's happening, which means that a whole lot of people need an extra bedroom now. Now, maybe they had an extra bedroom they can convert into an office. Probably not. So a whole bunch of people need an extra bedroom. A whole bunch of people have mindset shifted and are growing families and are going to be moving into their own homes. And a whole market has to accept the fact that we may have seen the lowest prices in San Diego real estate. I don't know. Will the market ever correct? Sure. But if it's 3 years from now, when it finally corrects, may not come back down to these levels. Today, I've been sending out this article. Let me see if I can do this again. Trying to figure out my new software here. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know what's going on with it right now, but I'm going to try to figure it out. So I'm sharing this article with everyone today. Everyone that is in my database, everyone that's pre-approved, everyone that, I think can benefit from just knowing that, listen, this isn't going to stop. A lot of people believe that, okay, well, maybe next year things will cool off a little bit in San Diego real estate market. I just don't see that happening. The data doesn't suggest that. The action on the ground level doesn't suggest that. And so I just don't know. I don't know where the catalyst is for this to slow down. That's the problem. Listen, I'd look for it. I'll be honest with you. If I saw one, I would say it. I just don't see where the catalyst is. What is going to stop this from happening? A lot of people mentioned when I posted this originally, they said, well, what about the exodus from California? And that's something that I pointed to many years ago. It's been going on for a long time. A lot of people leaving California. You're seeing, hey, businesses are leaving California. But where are they leaving? They're leaving San Francisco. They're leaving Los Angeles. What you don't see is you don't see a lot of big businesses leaving San Diego. No, you see them coming to San Diego. So keep in mind when you're getting data, when you're getting information about California, note where in California. California is a very big state. California could easily be 4 or 5 states. So, keep that in mind. I almost feel like San Diego and Los Angeles could be 2 different states. That's how big they both are. And that's also how different they both are. So when you see companies like Tesla leaving, Los Angeles County, when you see big companies, tech companies leaving San Francisco and San Jose, that doesn't mean anything negative for San Diego. In fact, it could mean that some of those people are coming here. And if you talk to agents on the ground level, they will tell you that that's actually happening. People are coming here from those areas because of the work from home capabilities. They want to stay in California. They want the sunshine. They want the ocean. They want the ability to go skiing and surfing in the same day. They'll come to San Diego because it's cheaper. They'll sell their $2 million house in San Francisco, buy an $800,000 house here, and they'll have the same house. So these things are all adding up right now. There's so many things pushing this thing higher, and I don't have a catalyst for lower yet. If interest rates would need to go up, there would need to be some sort of cataclysmic situation. Even if the stock market really took a dump, I don't think that would hurt real estate. It may even help interest rates. Rates are so low that it's very difficult to find a way to say that, this is not going to work. Real estate in San Diego is screwed. How could you say that? It's just, good point, Robert. Robert says, and we are live right now, so if you want to drop a comment in or say hi, feel free to do so. He says San Diego is a land in a box. There's nowhere to build. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's going to be east, right? Or far north and east. That's where you're seeing a lot of the stuff that's being built. And zombies will stop it. That's what it's going to take. I mean, tell me what the catalyst is to stop this. I don't see it. And I'm looking for it. I'm trying to be honest with myself and with everyone who follows the channel. I just don't see it. So it's going to take something out of nowhere, going to take something out of the blue. It's going to take something very significant to slow down this market. What does that mean? So if I'm a potential buyer in this market, what does that mean to me? Does that mean I need to run out there immediately today and buy a house? I never would recommend that you do anything in haste. Okay, that never makes sense. Okay, here we go. I should have put this up earlier. There's my NMLS number 155010. You can call or text me or email me anytime if you have questions. I do specialize in the VA home loan benefit. We can do all loans, of course, but I specialize in the VA home loan. Did about 85% of the loans I did in 2020 were VA. We have no lender fees and great rates on that. And so I don't see a catalyst to stop it. And until something comes up that gives me an indication that there might be a headwind here, we're going to continue to see prices go up. So should you run out and buy anything? No, I don't ever recommend to buy a home in haste. Never buy a home in haste. Always be smart about it. Always do your inspections. Always look at everything. You should feel great about it. You should feel great about it. And sometimes people have buyer's remorse. They'll call me and say, gosh, we got into contract and it's all moving so fast. I just don't know. Are we making a mistake? And if you start to overthink things, of course you will. Listen to your heart. You'll know when you walk into a home if it's home. And if you get that feeling, then you should be very aggressive about that place, because there's definitely going to be other people you're going to be battling with for that home. So advice right now is rates are low. Take advantage. Look at the difference. I've seen people not get a house because they're like, oh, they went too high. Well, how much higher was it than your offer? It was like $6,000 more. That's only like $25 a month. Was that worth losing out on for $25 a month? So keep in mind where those numbers are when you're making offers and you're trying to be thrifting, you're trying to be smart, but you also don't want to let a great home go by, because I can tell you there's some of these people and they bought, or they were looking to buy a year ago or 2 years ago, and now they're trying to still come back and look after another lease has come and gone, and they're trying to look again, and they're going, man, the prices are so much higher than they were when we first started looking a couple of years ago. I know. That's the thing I want to help you avoid. So expect higher prices in San Diego real estate in 2021. And I'm going to actually predict 10%. So CoreLogic says 8.3. I'm going to say 10. I don't think that the inventory situation gets better at all. I think demand will increase. I think we're going to see more international demand. We're going to see more people moving here who already live in California. They're going to relocate to San Diego. I think we're going to see people move here from all over the country who are now able to work remotely from Ohio and wherever else. They're going to move here because they want to live here and they have the ability to work from home. And I think that's going to also drive the market this year, even more than it did last year. Last year was just sort of the beginning of that. We just got a sniff of it, just a sniff. A lot of companies hadn't instituted work from home is okay completely. They did it. They were doing it temporarily. Now it's become permanent options for a lot of these employers. And that's going to continue to happen this year. You're going to see that trend increase. A lot of those people are going to want to move here because it's the best deal for the best weather. And that's just the bottom line. So hopefully this is helpful. Check out that article. I will post the link below in the comments. If you want to read it yourself and see what's going on with CoreLogic, you can search CoreLogic. Appreciate your time. Share this information. Call me, text me, email me if you have questions about loans. Happy to help. Have a great day, everybody.